Okay, in this little tutorial, we're going to have a look at the role of type and hierarchy within our design. We've done some really nice work in Photoshop and Illustrator to create some graphics, and now we're trying to focus on how typography can really impact it. I've got a little mood board of examples of nice typography here, taken in different styles, whether it's illustrative or it's using block lettering or layering, changing the angle and the focal point, or trying to change what you focus on when you're building something. So when you're building your lettering and using your type within your design, always think about what do you want to have largest and what you can look at first. Even though the large word is at the bottom, it's the one that you see first. It's not the one at the top. We have to think about our alignments and where things sit. So here's a centrally aligned image. And on this one, we have the block type of typography first, but then we have the word hierarchy that's larger. So try and think about how things flow, and you can dictate where people look first. If you were to number it 1 to 5, what do you look at first? And then what do you want them to look at second? And you're in charge of that. You have to dictate where things sit. Here's a really nice image for reference. Try and grab people's attention and then draw them into what you're trying to talk to them about by having subsequently smaller progressive content to get you into the detailing of it all. So if you're going to build this yourself, we need the text tool, we need the type tool. So in Illustrator it's T, in Photoshop it's T. All these tools are pretty similar, whether you're using Photoshop or Illustrator. So I've just clicked with the text tool there and written the word heading. You can also use the text tool to draw a text box and it'll fill it with filler text. So that's really important because you'll find out that you can have everything aligned to one side, or you have everything with the same attribute to it. It's just the same size font, same type of font, and so on and so forth. And here's where we start to play around with the content to see if we can sort of dictate where we see things first. So if you haven't got your tools all set up, you've got window and type down at the bottom, and I've clicked paragraph. There's loads of different options in here, so explore them, but you can obviously change the size of the font. You can change the role of the second line, so how far away it is, whether it's balanced, or you can creep it up or push it down. It's totally up to you. I always go for something that's slightly different just to try and draw it to or from. So take this moment just to say that I've used a typeface here, which is Gill Sans. It has a bold, it has an italic, it has a few different ones. But Gill Sans is a typeface, and then the version of the Gill Sans that you use will be the font below it. So I'm just going to get some filler text here to fill out the content box, then it'll all make a little bit more sense. So this is the same size as the subheading, so I want to differentiate that a little bit by making it less important. So I'm going to make it smaller. It's got a wide spacing on it, but it does feel quite patient, quite calm. And as soon as you start to frame your work, you can see that there's more to it than just a block of text. So I'll draw a little frame around it all just to give us a feeling of, a page or a space for this to be written. Now, just by choosing a clean, legible font and then having a facial a structure on the front of it that makes sense, so heading, subheading, and then content, you can start to see where the hierarchy sits. Under paragraph, you've got different alignment tools. You can align it centrally and justify it. I think it works better when you've got slightly justified with a left align. You might have some formal content in the top right. And looking at some of the examples on the mood board I've got, it certainly has that, especially if you're doing a magazine layout or a film promotion or band promotion or menu for a restaurant or something like that. So just any old detail at the top there, and then it feels like it needs a footer, so something at the bottom maybe, and I could align that centrally and see how that looks. My fingers aren't fast enough here. But with some nice visual content, you can put your information in here and it will sit quite formally. Just think about the hierarchy of what you want to see first. Can you lead people onto the next page? Can you see what's most important for messaging? And do you want people to see your designs or your information first? So from this point, you can see that based on the information we've got to begin with, we're trying to play around with how our information will sit on the page. We've got different tools like alignment to make things sit to the right, the left, centrally aligned, but your text is really important because although we see the nice design, we really want to see and understand what it is we're trying to tell people by looking at it. So in the next little video, I'll show you a few ways on making this type stand out, but at least we now know how to put it all together. So I'll see you in the next video for a bit more information.